So, good morning, everybody. Myself, Acharya Vishwan, and today I shall be speaking on the topic of effective study, which is a matter of great concern these days. So, let's start with things. So, the topic of concern is effective study. So, let's start with an example. Just feel that you have just started studying and just try to feel what is the meaning of study that you feel internally. So, studying means there is a certain source of information, and this information is to be accepted by the mind brain system of the student. Consider a student in the class. There is a teacher in the class, and he is certainly transferring certain information through the use of whiteboard or the blackboard or the digital board, and he expects the student to store that information in his mind brain system. So this is the brain of the student, this is the mind, and they together act as a system which we call as the mind brain system. So ultimately, studying means transferring of information, patterns, and use of these two to generate new information or the new output which is tested in any exam. So essentially, studying means working fundamentally on the process of information transfer, its storage and manipulation as and when needed. Let's begin with things in the next perspective. So let's discuss the processes involved over here in terms of systematic and gradual task. So initially there is a certain source of information. Suppose you want to study physics, so there is some source of information on physics. It may be in terms of a physical book, a teacher, a digital book, or any YouTube video, but all these are sources of information fundamentally. So the first task that is expected from you is to absorb that information, which I name as S1. Then the next task is to develop patterns using the information which you just absorbed. I call it that S2. And then the third step is using patterns to solve problems. The patterns that you have developed are just a tool to solve your problems. Because if we consider study is just to clear your exam, to crack your exam. And for cracking that exam, you need to have certain patterns developed in your mind brain system. And that pattern is the only reason you should study. Because if there are no you see the biasing or the output path, then there is possibility of overthinking, because mind brain system is a huge thing, it's substantial, and if your line of action or your thought pattern is not aligned as per the best optimal output, then there is a chance that you will be trapped in thoughts, illusions, and will end up with being less productive and non-optimized performance. So if you want to achieve optimal result using minimum efforts, then first of all align your thoughts, align your thought pattern, and then prepare. It's called the neural pattern development. So before beginning, the first step is to develop the pattern and then work on that gradually. So let's begin. So suppose this is source of information, and this information is to be transferred in the mind brain system of the student. So this is the entire internal mechanism behind studying. Now let's discuss some challenges. So the first challenge is that comes in the task S1, which is absorbing information from the source, is lack of focus. So you must have realized that when you are to absorb information, initially your mind brain system is having low frequency thoughts or the fickle thoughts or the stray thoughts, because of which you are not able to focus. So that is the first challenge, which is lack of focus. To correct it, the first thing is that bring focus gradually in your mind brain system. Generally, the mind brain system is either busy in past memories or either in future imaginations. But truth is only at present. And there is where you need to focus on. Focus means shifting your attention from past memories or future imaginations to the present. And that is the first challenge which most of the students focus. They are unable to focus at present. So internally they are in a loophole created by the mind brain system, because of which there is no effective absorption of new information. So first thing is improve the focus. Second, as I said, is weird thoughts, because when a student is studying, it's very general. Then when he will observe the first set of information, there will be internal reactions involved in him. He will try to map up the new information with the already past memories. And if that thing is not optimized and not controlled, there is a possibility of weird thoughts, which is the second challenge over here. The third thing is different brainwave frequencies, because our brain is a device itself which operates under different frequencies. Frequency is different for memorizing, different for thinking, different for analysis, different for meditation, different for any other task. And in fact, there is a involvement of multiple parts of the brain simultaneously. So we must be adapted to the change in brainwave frequencies, because when you change the brainwave frequency, normally there is involvement of anxiety, excitement, hurry, internal thoughts, which interferes in the process of working. So these are some of the challenges with the step 1. Now let's discuss the challenges with the step 2. As I explained earlier, the challenges when you try to develop patterns. The first challenge is anxiety. Anxiety means you will have fickle thoughts, restlessness, problems in breathing, problems in focusing. The next challenge is confusions. Next is frustration. So these are the challenges with the step 2. Now if you overcome step 2, there is another step 3, and the challenges are: first challenge is a feeling of hurry, excitement, and incomplete integrated information processing. So these are the core challenges that stops you from effective study. Effective study means that you should be focused most of the time at present, and just use the past memories or the future imaginations just to optimize your learning. But generally what happens is memory starts using us, starts distracting you, starts disturbing you, which ultimately affects your performance, output, and results in life. So if you want to study effectively, just face challenges gradually and try to be at present most of the times. Don't be influenced by the internal suggestions of the mind brain system, because as I have observed, nature does not want us to learn the truths of life. There is concept of illusion. It tries to trap us into emotions, into past memories, or into future imaginations. Mind always try to trap us in a matrix, and it will trap us in a chain of thoughts, and the only solution is to observe things silently. Just observe what mind do. Let it to do anything, just observe silently. So this silent observation is the fundamental basis of effective study. So if you want to study effectively, just observe the entire process happening within you within a silent mind. Thank you and have a nice day.